Hi, I'm Karla Winterowd of Winterowd Fine Art. We thought it'd be fun today to give you a personal tour of the gallery. Come on inside. We hope you enjoy this virtual tour today. This is a sculpture titled Mach 6 by Dylan Martinez. Dylan is an interesting artist because, first off, he uses clear glass, and he does that because he's colorblind. So a lot of his work has to do with color optics. This piece includes over 120 pieces of individually extruded pieces of glass that he has pulled, he's cut, he's shaped, he's polished each one of these pieces, and then they're actually cold fused together. It's an unusual work of art, and it took him over 3 months solid to make. We're just thrilled to have this work here. It's absolutely extraordinary and exquisite. Tom Kirby's paintings feel like a transcendent moment. He paints with oil paintings on canvas, and oftentimes there will be 40 layers. He'll utilize gold dust, pearl dust, and might even grind up lapis lazuli to make his works of art. The paintings feel like they're elevating. Suzanne Wiggin has been painting in New Mexico for over 30 years, and we love the way that she paints exactly what she sees out her studio window. Every view from vista to close mountain views, these are things that she sees from her property in Taos, New Mexico. Suzanne not only paints oil paintings, but she will also often work in what's called a monotype. A monotype is a single print that she paints with printing inks onto a glass plate, and then places a piece of paper over that glass plate once she's painted it, and then runs that through her press to the other side. It's a single print. There's only one made, thus it's titled a monoprint. So we love the vistas that we get from Suzanne Wiggin's work, as well as the close detail of the trees. You really feel the air between the leaves and the branches of the trees, and it feels like there's a slight rustling of the fauna below. Fritts creates ceramic sculptures of figures, and the forms are not just herself, but her ancestors, past, present, and future. Each has a unique story, and I love how she is often expanding the ideas of the figure into a new story, a new flight, a new way of seeing. Quade creates mixed media paintings on wood panel. He starts off with a piece of collage to begin his work of art. It's really the springboard and the idea of getting started. Once he starts painting, the painting always evolves. It's always inspired by his garden, which is abundant of fauna and as well as insects like butterflies and bees, and so you can see the movement within the garden always in his paintings. Sometimes the paintings feel like they're being painted from up above, down, like a plan view, but then he also brings you into what is actually growing in the garden. This one is titled Red Chrysanthemums, and it's a great, abundant energy of his gorgeous gardens. Alex Watts creates exquisite bronze sculptures. She takes her time making these beautiful works of art, and they're always figures engaging in ideas of love and hope and cherishing each other. This particular one is titled Flying Home, and you can see the figures are grounded into the earth, but yet they're still flying in delight with each other. They're connecting on a beautiful heart level and enjoying each other's company in flight. Discover an artist like Karen Bexfield. Her technique of making her glass sculptures is so unique. She begins with tiny little pieces of glass, and that's called frit. And that frit goes into a kiln, onto a kiln bed. It's how she's applying the frit onto the kiln bed that allows her to get this holy technique. It's really, truly all her own. So if you see anything that looks like it, you'll know it's a Karen Bexfield sculpture. She combines different colors of frit together to create her glass works, and then after she has a flat sheet of holy glass, she'll then slump that piece of glass to make a more of a concave forms that connect together, and then she can finish the pieces so they appear as though they're just one solid unit. Sarah Bienvenu's paintings are always delightful. She starts off by going into nature and discovering a beautiful spot to sit and rest, and gives us something exquisite to look at. The trees, the mountains, the sky, all interacting together. The landscape really feels at harmony, as it is in each of Sarah Bienvenu's paintings. When viewing a Lucy Maki painting, you're always kind of taking a second look. Maybe it's a painting, maybe it's a sculpture. You realize it's a construction of both. And that's what brings us in further to examine the work and find out what she's saying within her works. Annell Livingston has been painting the grid for over 40 years. The way she can utilize color next to color, they vibrate, they glow, and we love how she's playing with the shapes, and it keeps us engaged further and draws us in more and more. The nocturnal landscape paintings of Jonathan Keeton's paintings are quite romantic. It's the time of day when none of us are kind of engaged in the world. We're usually in our homes and settling in for the night. But for him, he's finding the delight and the mystical of the evening light. We all love nature here at Winterowd Fine Art, and most certainly so does Gilberto Romero. He loves hiking and exploring nature. Sometimes he'll find a rock and he'll bring that back to his studio. He pairs the rocks with bronze birds. Each bird is sculpted uniquely, and it just feels like the essence of a bird. We love that they're resting here on their migratory path for a moment so we can enjoy them at peace. It's exciting to find an innovative artist like Bernstein. He's transformed the ideas of how glass should and could be made. Oftentimes he's using casting and cutting and carving techniques. In this one, he's casting and slumping and finding new forms, and he's applying steel to the sculpture to transform it into something beyond just glass. It's always a delight viewing a Jamie Kirkland landscape painting. She brings out the most hopeful aspects of our world and the expansiveness of the landscape. I like exploring her mountains, her grasslands, and her beautiful skies are always ever evolving and changing colors. J.D. Wellborn's paintings are true jewels. We love the color that delights us, and in the interior of her mystical tablet compositions, there's always a treasure to discover. Mark Laputa creates glass sculptures. He begins by blowing a glass form and then cutting and carving through. The optics in his work are really engaging, and you can only see it when you start moving a sculpture or moving around the piece. He provides windows into a world that becomes a micro-macro exploration of a form. One could be fully grounded in a Charlie Burk painting. These beautiful brass portraits really speak to our planet Earth. You can feel the pulse of nature and the explosion of color and life teeming within. Thanks for joining us today on a gallery tour. You can follow us on our website, fineartsantafe.com, or socially engage with us through Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. We look forward to seeing you soon.